Let's do our best to make sure we're all on the same page here before we actually begin. No, I haven't done a video like this before, as that was on cave spiders, and they are the distant cousins of our web-filled friends that also happen to be less successful and therefore less useful, so that's why I didn't go over any of the stuff we're going over today with them. And I've actually shown already how to farm spiders prior to the day in a limited sense, so I'm kind of just going to leave that segment to the end, so go ahead and just skip to that if you wish. But for now, I believe we all already know how to go about encountering our six-legged comrades that litter the constant, so I believe we should just get right to talking spider dens. Spider dens, or rather spider nests, are where spiders live, and who would have guessed that one? They have 3 tiers of growth, and that begins with the tier 1 nest here. The nest will remain at this tier for up to 5 to 10 days and will house a maximum of 3 spiders while doing so. The nest also sits at a measly 250 health, but destroying it nets but 2 silk, so it's actually not a good idea to get all murdery just yet. But waiting until a tier 2 den could prove worth it, but now the number of spiders held within one has doubled to a total of 6, and tier 2 dens now house spider warriors. The loot table may have doubled, but so has the potential dangers, as more spiders will begin to pour out the bigger the dens get. And give it another 5 to 10 days and you'll soon be having a tier 3 nest at your disposal. Tier 3 see 9 total spiders calling it home, with 3 of them being warriors. The health of the den has jumped significantly, but so has the reward. However, how do we actually go about handling these nests anyway? Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's probably a safe bet to advise you all not to be going in guns blazing, as you not only release spiders upon walking on the sticky webbing, you release even more if you happen to go for the den itself. And with the potential tier 3 nest in play, that's 3 spiders released just by walking over the webbing, with an additional 6 of their friends coming out to greet you once you go knocking on their door. And even though spiders are flimsy, this is still a situation to be highly avoided, as there's just really no point in putting yourself through this. So a potential alternative is traps. The same ones that we use for rabbits, by the way. If we litter the ground or webbing itself with these traps and do our best to lure the angry beast to them, we can instantly kill them without having any combat involved. This is a great strategy for lightening the load of dealing with a ton of spiders at any one given time. Or you can just go all the way and trap all 9 of the suckers if you wish. But again, there's nothing to stop you from doing it all yourself. And all I advise is patience. Walk on the webbing, get the attention of the spiders that emerge, and have them follow you off and a little ways away from the den. Doing so isolates the spiders, and then you can kill them without spawning any of the others within the den. It's safer and far more controlled. Plus, it can be done no matter the tier 2. And when the spiders are dead, then go for the den itself. With all that said, of course spiders in low numbers are nothing to really be afraid of, especially due to them being stun locked when hit. Heck, even warrior spiders and their higher health and damage are okay too, as long as you just stay on top of dodging them and not being overwhelmed by all the other potential spiders. It's the larger groups that you need to worry about, and that's the problem. Spiders share a mob mentality, because at whatever time, but especially dusk or night when the spiders roam freely, hitting but one will attract all the other spooters nearby, and depending on the amount of nests and their current levels, this could really spell a bad news beard situation for ya. So please, be mindful of your want to murder all things, because it might lead you to somewhere you don't want to go. As it may even lead to the Spider Queen, another mini-boss that calls the constant home. How queens actually come to be is rather interesting, as they actually spawn from tier 3 dens themselves after said tier 3 den has been around for roughly 12.5 to 25 days. Then, the player has to remain nearby the overgrown nest for some time, and then, and only then, is a potential queen gonna emerge. The queen has a chance to automatically spawn a tier 1 den, and this den will actually grow into a tier 2 variant in less than a minute, which makes her a spider renewing machine as long as there's not a whole heck of a lot around her already. That is, until she herself becomes a measly tier 1 den after roaming about for about 1.5 days. Fighting queens is a doozy. Have no doubt there. They not only boast 2,500 health, but pack a whopping punch of 80 damage each, and can even spawn additional spiders to help them every 10 seconds. The queen herself is very slow, and thus kiteable, so get 3 hits and back out. It's that minus 400 sanity per minute aura and the additional spiders that are gonna be a pain in your butt, so please, manage those above managing her. Always get those spawn spiders before going back to smack the queen. But there's nothing to stop you from grabbing some loyal friends to help you usurp her as well. In this case, I use spiders. But if you're not playing Weber, get some pigs. But with all this talk, are spiders even worth it in the long run? And I say, is that even a question? Spiders are an essential part of survival considering the loot in which they drop, so I guess it's time to break it all down, starting with the sticky white stuff. Silk is needed for winter clothing like the breezy vest, kind of the poor man's insulator, a winter hat, the thing that most people are probably gonna end up using, and the puffy vest, which is one of the best items in terms of insulation in the entire game. And oh yeah, you're gonna need it to make the sewing kit to even patch up any of these clothes here too, so please, go get some. Silk can lead you to magic crafting through the creation of the top hat and thus prestihatinators. Beekeepers can also rejoice as these beekeeping hats also come from silk itself. Fashion aficionados can boast their design of the dapper vest that may even lead to the hibernation vest down the line. And why not just cool off with the seasonal floor shirt as well? It can even put a boomerang in your hand if you're into that. And to be honest, I think I gotta start using boomerangs more often. Can lead to helping you catch some Z's with the tent or the siesta lean-to, the latter of which actually cools you down as well if you didn't know. Silk is needed for umbrellas to combat the heavy rains. You'll need it for fishing rods to go on your lovely fishing trips. And for when you're looking to catch some bugs with a net, you're gonna need some silk. Oh, and if you're looking to catch some bigger prey like the winged beasts of the sky, you're gonna need more, so keep getting more. You can make a piggyback to hold more for you, but it will slow you down in the long run. Or you can never go slow again and create the Gossamer Saddle. But you shouldn't make the Gossamer Saddle. And finally, silk can be used for the cat cap, or Willow's Bernie companion, or even for Winona's trusty tape. Are you still questioning if spiders are worth it? Cause spider glands are next, and even though they certainly lead to less craftable recipes than silk, that doesn't negate their usefulness. Spider glands themselves already heal 8 health per use, so keeping in the fight with our web-slinging foes will be a bit easier with these little things around, but throw in a few extra ingredients to create healing salves, and they themselves restore 20 health a pop. They are quick and simple to craft, making them a mighty fine healing alternative if you wish. And don't forget the Telltale Hearts too. They are items that can revive dead players at less cost to the parties involved. But you may have received a drop from the Queen called the Spider Hat. It's a clothing item that allows any character to control nearby spiders. Yes, the Spider Hat allows any survivor to cosplay as Weber for the day, and they can attract up to 10 spiders that will follow and automatically fight for the player. It's pretty darn useful, but it only lasts for 2 minutes, so be mindful there. Plus, your cosplay must be pretty darn convincing, as pigs and such will see you as a hostile creature and attempt to murder your dead so be careful. But we ain't here to talk fashion, it's time to talk farming, and it all stems from spider eggs, additional drops from both spider queens and tier 3 nests. So with that in mind, it is highly advised to actually destroy tier 3 nests almost immediately to lessen any potential danger while still efficiently and effectively renewing spiders. You can set up but a single nest nearby and continue to visit it every now and then for some spider loot for yourself. You can build an arena that sees pig houses surrounding 2 to 3 nests to create a farm that kinda does all the work for you. Or you can conversely use bunnymen instead, considering that both mobs come out of their homes at the same time. Plus, the bunnies aren't gonna eat your loot too. You can even take advantage of natural farms within the swamp, as there is no doubt in my mind regarding the potential to have a den be in constant combat with a tentacle or two. Or you can even create your own by locating a bunch of tentacles, maybe even the retrap itself, and placing your own spider nest nearby. Or potentially create the most efficient farm by locating the Queen's Gathering set piece or planting a large number of nests in a single area, only to block it off with end tables or fossils in order to protect your Winona's catapults that will absolutely decimate any of the spiders in no time at all. It's quite simple, as you really only need 1 or 2 catapults at the most, and just a handful of fossils and such will do. It's effective, as the only things taking damage are the spiders, and the efficiency is off the charts in terms of the loot, especially if you manage it well. There are a ton of ways to handle and farm spiders, everyone, so do what works for you. But before we go, let's just briefly discuss Weber's relationship with spiders, shall we? The mobs are neutral to the Spooder Boy and won't cause any sanity drain either, and he can walk on webbing without disturbing the entire nest. He can also gather a spider army via feeding spiders monster meat, and they'll end up fighting for him along the way. He himself can even craft spider nests using a handful of spider loot and such. That is very, very useful for setting up your own farms. And he can actually upgrade existing dens using silk too. So if you wish to make the true use of spiders and their gimmicks, Weber is the way to go. But there you have it, everyone. A bit of an extensive and long-winded guide on spiders and about how damn important they truly are. Without them, you lose out on many important aspects of the game, so I do truly hope you walk away knowing a bit more to help you take advantage of the web-slinging creatures. For now, I thank you for watching. Well wishes to everyone out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!